Alright, so the 2022-2023 SPL season has just came to an end. Some of these predictions were pretty much bang on or just off by a place or two. A couple of them have been absolutely shocking. So I'll go through, bottom to top, and pretty much see how bad I've done or how well I've done with pretty much the predictions. So, starting off in last place, I went with St Mirren, which they finished in 6th place. So that's quite a bad one. 6th place is difference, which I love Stephen Robinson, but I generally didn't think that squad had enough to do what it took this season to avoid relegation. But proved me wrong and proved a lot of people wrong. Don't think anyone would have had them in the top 6 predictions at the start of the season, which at least wasn't one of them. Will they do better next season? I think if they strengthen, I think they are well within a shout for top 6. Under Robinson, 4 players probably just needs that squad to bolster it, to get main quality, and you're flying. 11th place, I went with Kilmarnock. They finished 10th, because just above them I put Ross County, and they finished 11th. So it's pretty much between the two, and it went down to the last day of the season ultimately, because if County had bet Kelly, they'd have obviously finished above him, but it went Kelly won, so it's County in the playoffs instead of Kelly. Pretty much I was almost bang on for the two clubs. They were both players involved in the relegation scrap all season. I just thought County would have had a bit more quality to see it over the line, but ultimately Derek McGuinness and his experience has clearly proved vital. Picked up massive results, especially against my club of fucking both Rugby Park and that Far Park. Very annoying, but stuff is what stuff is. 9th place, I had Livingston. They finished 8th place, which pretty much almost bang on. It was just about there. They looked like they were on course for a top 6 finish, but then pretty much, as what Martindale says, it was almost like a stinking run of form. You pretty much were like almost not in complete cruise control after the new year, but they were pretty much looking like another only like 3 or 4 wins and you're pretty much there, which I think points wise would have walked out to actually would have been. I don't know if it would have been, but ultimately the way it is, let's see what happens. Next season you're going to see a big change for players in all clubs. I think their captain's leaving, Nicky Devlin, and they'll probably lose maybe another 1 or 2 of the players. They're not like most of the clubs outside of the old firm, and the likes of Aberdeen, Hearts and Hibs. You're pretty much just got to be not a lot to spend, so you're going to have to penny pinch, shop around. Lower leagues in England, where that's League 2, plays out of favour completely, are shunned in League 1, or even like National League players basically. Or even you have to go abroad and go Germany, Australia, Japan, which seems to be a big favour for clubs nowadays in the Premiership, which, after what Celtic have done, you're like, oh, clearly works, go and try and sign a few. 8th place, I had my club Motherwell, we finished in 7th, just missing out on a top 6 spot, which, after the first half of the season we had, I'd been biting your hand off to take 7th place. Pretty until Stuart Gale came in, we were pretty much down. You had pretty much pundits, us ourselves, our own fans saying we're relegated. And like Stevie Hamill got sacked, which he was, and just in the nick of time really. It was mental. The turnaround under Kettlewell instantly, finishing, I think it was like 16 points clear of the playoffs, maybe even 19 or something it was. Which, finished on 50 points, which in most seasons you'd think obviously gets top 6, but the way Split works obviously doesn't. But if we can go and continue that form into next season, got quite a lot of players out of contract in the summer, quite a lot of players that probably should be moved on. I could see that there could be a good turnaround in squad. I could see 6-7 players leave, 6-7 players sign. And it's obviously under the new manager compared to Hamill. which I thought if Stevie had a full pre-season and a full proper summer transfer window under him, Pelsey would have been fighting for top 6 or even Europe. But one of those things where shit happens is where shit happens. 7th place, I put Hibs. They finished 5th. Just, or maybe not just, but not really comfortably. I didn't think under Lee Johnson they'd have got Europe, but they did. All depends on the Scottish Cup this weekend. To Celtic, if they can beat Inverness, which they should. I think that's with the squad. 1 or 2 more signings, as long as you keep your bulk of your squad, pretty much, I think you'll get there next season. Unless there's a massive shake and changes, which we never know. It's Hibs at the end of the day, and they's like good. Moving on to the top 6 now. 6th place, I put St Johnstone. They looked comfortable, to be fair. They looked more than comfortable halfway through the season. They were sitting 6th place by the time I'd done my reacts, by looking back at it, but finished 9th, and they were pretty much they were getting dragged into a relegation scrap, which they basically were, to be fair, and they just scraped at the end. Steve McLean, the old striker for St Johnstone, has been appointed a new manager on a 3-year deal, I think. I don't know how they're going to do that for next season. A good number of the players probably need moving on. And with a manager that's got to be his first job, let's see how he does. Let's see if he's got the experience and the knowledge of the players to go and bring in to try and get St Johnstone fighting for top 6 again, or at least no one near a relegation scrap come the split and risk him getting sacked. 5th place, away with Aberdeen. It was ultimately they finished 3rd. Hearts bottled it. I did like a 10, 12 point lead or whatever it was. It was incredible. The collapse of Hearts. Robbie Nielsen was sacked. Stephen Naismith was appointed caretaker. Who knows who's going to be their permanent manager next season. But Aberdeen, they deserve it. They looked like they could have been actually involved in maybe early stages of a relegation battle. But sacked the manager, sacked Jim Goodwin, Barry Robson, permanent manager now, turned it around. Europa League playoff, guaranteed Conference League, guaranteed Europe for just before Christmas. Will they get Europa League football? We'll see how they do. We'll see how they improve their squad for group stages. Well, for at least playoffs next season and for at least group stage football come August and September time and all that good stuff. 4th place away with Dundee United. They got relegated. Finished 4th last year. I didn't think they'd have been this bad. They were dead bottom by the time at the new year. I don't know what's happened. Massive fall from grace from last season, and it's a bit embarrassing, to be fair. To go from, Conference League, where they beat AZ Alkmaar at Tannadice. They did get scalped 7-0, to be fair with them, in the return leg in the Netherlands, but to be dicked the way they did, to perform the way they did this season, I couldn't think that would have happened. And now Jim Goodwin's the permanent manager. Will I get them back up at the first time of asking? Let's wait and see. 3rd place went with Hearts. They finished 4th. Just. They had to avoid defeat the Hibs on the last day of the season in the derby, which they did, to get Conference League it is, qualifiers for next year, which compared to getting playoffs last year for Europa and then conference group stages, they're looking more than on course for 3rd place, and then they just bottled it. And yet Aberdeen, as I says, hit form at the right time and took 3rd place from them. Who's going to be a permanent manager for us next season? Fuck knows. Now, top 2. It's obvious. I put Rangers 2nd, Celtics to win the title back-to-back years, and ultimately that ran true. Van Bronckhorst was sacked from Rangers in November. I think it was either just before the World Cup or pretty much as the World Cup happened. So, yeah, it was one of those where I didn't think they had the quality to match Celtic this season, and ultimately they didn't. Celtic Powers just ran away with it. They won the league, put out their shit team, and looked like they bolted it a wee bit, but when you put a team this BI played, you having players that the last games are in like September, October time when they last started games, or even like they just came from a new country and they've not played in 5 months. For Celtic, it was almost a foregone conclusion. I don't think Rangers were ever going to be close this season, and rumours Postecoglou could move to Spurs, but I don't think that'll happen either. I think it'll pretty much be down to, let's say, they recruit in the summer, both Rangers and Celtic. But if they have the exact same squads going into next season, I think you'll pretty much see Celtic win 3 in a row. Again, and the dominance basically starts again pretty much, which it'll be one of those things of where it'll just be Rangers' fault, basically. Right, with that is the end of the video. Ultimately, a lot of the predictions were pretty much bang on. Everything was quite well. I nailed the Celtic and Rangers one. Had Hearts, us, Livy, Kelly, County, all by 1. Aberdeen and Hibs by 2. St Johnstone by 3. Smyrna by 6. And Dundee United by 8. Pretty much was a very good thing where it was a 26 difference basically in the end. Which obviously apart from 2 teams basically. I did a very good set of predictions. For next season, we've got Dundee coming up and Dundee United going down. We've got Ross County and Partick Thistle in the playoffs to the side. You'll probably see Hearts look better next season, Hibs look even better next season. Hopefully my club does better. Hopefully they're well enough to try and get back into a top 6 place. Even if you can push for Europe, you push for Europe, but yeah. I think with that, I know I said like the Jota, top goal scorer. It was Kyogo. Van Veen was so close. Shankland was so close. But it was last day of the season. Heroics basically from Kyogo that pretty much meant that it was pretty much going to be his and his alone compared to others. But ultimately, with that is the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.